In a major shift, the United States has slashed its estimate of aid to Ukraine from $300 billion to just $100 billion, amid ongoing negotiations over access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. The reassessment, reported by Bloomberg, comes as the Trump administration pushes for a ceasefire with Russia, raising fears that economic priorities are now overtaking wartime support. The timing is striking. Just days after U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff met Russian President Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg, Washington also blocked a G7 statement condemning Russia's latest missile strike on Ukraine. That strike, on April 13th, killed at least 35 civilians in the northeastern city of Sumy, including 2 children, and injured more than 120. One of the missiles reportedly carried cluster munitions. President Zelensky condemned the assault as a deliberate act of terrorism. Nearly 50 countries and international bodies backed his remarks, but the G7's joint response was halted by a U.S. veto. The Trump administration argued that a formal condemnation would jeopardize diplomatic space for talks with Moscow. Canada, which holds the G7 presidency in 2025, acknowledged the group could not release a joint statement without U.S. approval. "You can't have a G7 statement if one of the 7 says no," said a Canadian official. Meanwhile, European G7 members, Germany, France, Italy, and the UK, issued individual condemnations, calling the Sumy strike cowardly, criminal, and calculated. None, however, publicly challenged Washington's stance. This is not the first time the U.S. has broken ranks. It previously blocked a G7 statement on the 3rd anniversary of Russia's invasion and vetoed plans to track Russia's shadow oil fleet. Critics argue the U.S. is undermining Ukraine's war effort, trading hardline support for a softer diplomatic approach and mineral leverage. With U.S. leadership in flux and G7 unity cracking, Ukraine faces a grim reality: escalating Russian attacks and a faltering Western response.